What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. It's Manchester United 5, Arsenal 4, United win on penalties, and the third round of the FA Cup. And this is the review. I'm joined by my boy Khalid.
Yo, what's up, Red Devils, man? I'm so excited, man, to talk about this game. Sheesh.
Big game, big game. It's a massive performance. Woo. United were down to 10 men from the 60th minute. And, you know, it could have been curtains because the game changed so quickly. But United managed to pull through, get the result, and we're through to the next round. There's a lot of things that we've got to talk about because the game went all the way to penalties. So there's a lot to dig into.
Yes. Let's get into this, man.
Do you know what? I don't even know where to start because it's such a big game as well. Like, leading up to this point, I was nervous. Especially when we went down to 10 men, I didn't know what was going to happen.
Oh my God, bro. Tell me about it. Like, in that moment, all I was thinking was, just please be vintage United, man. Please just be vintage United. Bring it back. Yeah, man. That's it. So hopefully we can continue with performances like this, man. I was so happy with the end result. But obviously, yeah, shaky, very shaky at times. Especially when we went a man down, but we did what we had to do, man. So
100%.
That's it, man.
So to kick off things, I want to talk about this man, Bruno Fernandes. He was just amazing.
As I always say, man, El Capitan. He always puts in a shift. But for some reason, I was like looking at videos and I saw how you could see that he was carrying us on his shoulders. You could see that the responsibility he was taking. He was, even at the point where we had gone down, like halfway during the match, he was actually like with Amorim discussing tactics, telling people where to go. He was like, Ahmad, go there, Yoro, go there, like telling everyone where to go. And you could just see the passion flowing through. So if he's bringing that out, you can imagine how that made all the other players feel, man.
100%.
So,
and you know what? We're starting to see a lot more of the captain's performance regularly now. Do you know, like when Bruno first signed, he was the one to get the goals and the assists, and you know, there wasn't so much moaning. And now he's just getting back to a level where he is putting in that performance regularly for Manchester United because, you know, too often we've said, you know, he gets angry, throws his toys out the pram. But he's starting to find that level of performance again now. And it's better for the team because we definitely need him. And he put in a proper captain's performance.
100%. As I always say, like I feel like at this point we can't even imagine United without him, you know? Like
I definitely can't.
Yeah, we notice him missing within the games, you know? So for me, I feel like it's very, very important. His presence, not just as a captain, but I feel like even for younger players, we can see that that's coming through. Even Kobe says that he gets inspired by Bruno. You know, everyone feels like his captaincy and his responsibility and his passion for the club just shines through. And yeah, man, hopefully this can just continue to like build us up.
He deserves it as well because, you know what, we've been shit for so long. And, you know, it's not always on him to be putting in those performances. Other players should step up as well. And, you know what, I know you want to talk about this guy. So I'll let you kick it off.
Big man. Yes, of course, man. I want to talk about big man Harry Maguire in the game. Do you know what? First of all, let me just start off by saying how massively like he's improved. How his mindset, not just his game and his mind and his mindset. You can remember a time, I looked at a report as well the other day. You can remember a time when we were under Ranić and he was just playing. He knew it. He knew that his performances were not as good. But rather than like sulk about it, when he knew he wasn't getting picked, he took the time to train. He took the time to discipline himself. You can even see it in his fitness. You can see it in his mentality. He's there.
Do you know what the maddest thing is as well?
Yeah.
He was actually ill before the game, apparently. Wow. And he stayed in the team because he wanted to play that desperately against Arsenal. And that just shows the leadership that he has.
Honestly, this is the thing. I think we have so many people who are worthy of the captain's armband within the team. And especially, I think besides Bruno, even if we didn't have Bruno on the pitch, it would be Maguire cheering us on all the way. And again, with a performance like that, I always feel like he's found where he's best at now.
100%.
We know that in the centre position, he's solid. He wasn't taking any prisoners. You can see the passion. You can even see the anger coming through. But it's what we need. We really, really need that, man.
They definitely need the fight because, you know, if we don't see any of that in these kind of games, then it's tough for players to stay in the team as well. 100%. Because obviously Amorim's going to make his decisions, and they've obviously given him a contract extension, and they're happy with his performances. So I'm happy for him as well. I'm very happy for Harry Maguire.
Very well deserved, man.
Now we're going to talk about the juicy bit of the game.
Yeah.
Honestly, the fight was amazing from our team, especially going down to 10 men. It was just brilliant because, you know, you want to see it all the time. You don't want to see anything, you know, anything less. And it felt like the old vibe of Manchester United versus Arsenal, didn't it?
Bro, the rivalry is well and truly intact. It's what we want. Literally, even at that time, you could see the heat rising.
Yeah,
in the game.
Ugarte didn't give a fuck. Trying to headbutt him, basically. And you know what? He wasn't having any of it because Maguire lost his shit. And he was like, yo, you're a shithouse. What I love about this as well, you can even see in that picture, Mazarari wants some. He's just like, yeah, man, let me get some. Like, I want to punch someone as well. Even Garnacho's getting involved.
Everyone got involved. Even Kobe got involved. He was like, nah, get off my teammate, bro. Get off. Nah, you're not there. But this is what I'm talking about. I think that passion, that drive is what we needed. And to be honest, it's always been a rivalry, and we couldn't let Arsenal step to us like that.
Do you think it was a penalty?
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
100%,
The biggest hell no, because even watching
that ref was on a mad one.
Oh, he was their 12th man, literally. Like, at that point, I was like, nah, there's an agenda against us, because we've spoken about this before. Imagine, they didn't have VAR in that game, but imagine they had.
Yeah, luckily though, Ugarte would have probably got sent off as well.
Yeah, most likely. However, though, one thing I will say is, even though they did pan in on the camera, but he slightly got away with it because he didn't actually go up and headbutt anybody, and there was too much of a scuffle to even figure out who started it.
Find out what's going on.
So,
but yeah, I agree. I don't think it was a penalty. And you know what? Even Odegaard wanted to get himself a picture frame.
Framed his L. He well and truly framed his L.
Do you know what I actually thought though? I was like, alright, he ain't missing. I didn't think he'd miss.
To be honest.
And it was a brilliant save as well.
My heart was pumping, but the one thing I will say is, I always have this thing where I'm like, if you're going to cheat and you're going to try and cheat your way through football, most of the time, yeah, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So it wasn't his day, and I'm happy it wasn't.
Yeah, 100%, because it's like, it's a brilliant game, innit?
And honestly, bro, like, let's be real. You can see even the way after he had even missed that penalty, you could actually see the way everyone went up to like Havertz, so was like, oh, fuck you, man. They were bullying him. They were bullying him. And to be honest, you could see the look on Odegaard's face. Realistically, great player, but at the same time, I also think for that game, we owned most of their players. I'll be real. Playing
from the 61st minute, and obviously they got the penalty afterwards, the game just switched. And, you know, I think Amorim wanted to actually make the change before. I don't know if he was going to take Dalot off, but he wanted to make the change. He was going to bring Ahmad on to impact the game. But then Dalot got sent off. And it was just a completely different game from that moment on. And, you know, I got to give big props to these players, because the next thing I want to talk about is 10 man strong, because this team put in a hell of a shift. They didn't, you know what, the heads could have dropped and they thought they could have been out of it, but they put in a hell of a shift, and I'm so glad that they did, because it shows if you can play that well with 10 men, imagine what you could do with 11.
Oh my day, this is what I'm saying, and this is exactly what we said, especially even about the Liverpool game. Like, if we can perform like that, why don't we perform like that every day? It's not obviously every match we play, but what's crazy is that we can put in those types of performances, and that well and truly showed that even having one less man didn't matter. I do admit to you though, at the time when he had put in that tackle, I was like, oh. You had a feeling it was something like that was coming. But like I said, it felt like the old Man United versus Arsenal. Like, that's what it's about. Red cards, tackles, headbutts, like fighting. Like, honestly, he was giving me them kind of vibes. And, you know, to sum it up was this moment by Matthias Deligt, clearing the ball off the line when your team's under the cosh. There's, you know, that was the team spirit. Everybody was going for everything, and it was brilliant. And you could see, like, there was a bit where you panned in at the end I actually only saw that bit in the highlights as well when I rewatched it, when basically he got into the net, he'd cleared the ball away and he got to the net and he was like, yeah, screaming. And that's what we want. We need that passion. And I think, again, defense, especially Delit, solid. Everyone was on it. You could see them running back. They showed pure passion. They knew what they wanted to do and they executed it, which is really important, man. For real. Honestly.
And then I saved a good moment. Not last, but just before we get into my final point.
We want to talk about
some familiar moments. That moment where Zirkzee wins it and, you know, to win the game for such a big tie. It was brilliant.
Much like Lingard moonwalking at the Emirates. This is what we want. And in blue as well.
And then Joshua Zirkzee giving the gun fingers to the Gunners.
And the wave as well.
Oh yeah, see you later.
See ya.
It was brilliant.
And I'm well and truly happy for Zirkzee. You know what I mean? He's gotten his stick. You know, the last couple of weeks, we know how it's been with the fans. We know how it can get. But we know that's just that healthy competition coming out. You know, we know what our fans are like. We know what we expect. That's what it was. There was more expectations from the players. There was more of that feel. But when you think about the strength, the hold-up play, this is what we spoke about.
Yeah, when he sent Saliba back to France, oh my God, nutmegged him. Went one way, then went the other, and then he just left Saliba in a heap on the floor. Happy for him as well.
Honestly, yeah.
And Amorim said it after the game: 1 minute you're a villain, and then 1 minute you're a hero. It just goes to show how much things can change in the space of like a week.
Honestly, man, the wheel turned, as they say. The wheel turned, man.
And then my final point, don't think we forgot about him.
The Turkish hero.
Altay by India. I think he's taking a claim for that goalkeeping spot now, you know.
For sure. I know that he got a lot of stick for the Tottenham game. They say that, you know, whether it was the kicks, whether it was also the saves. But to be honest, sometimes I don't like to also blame the goalkeeper too much. I know, and I can take responsibility, and so can the players, to say, look, we haven't been playing our best. The backline can also put much pressure on the goalkeeper as well. He had a bad game. So happy for him, not only when he had saved that penalty, but his performance shone right through the game. You could see his confidence coming out.
It was growing.
And his communication to, even when the corners came up, he did not want our spirit to go down.
I'm not gonna lie, he looked a bit shaky sometimes, but obviously he's been in and out of the team. He hasn't been consistently starting for us. Yeah. And it was a brilliant performance. He saved 2 penalties, and he's the first player ever to do that twice in one game.
Honestly. And this is what I mean. That's why he was, you know, player of the match, hero performance. He showed Onana's probably right now trying to stake his claim and be like, look, you've got that. But this is it just goes to show now we've got that rotation that Amorim was talking about. Hopefully now,
healthy competition, we need it 100%.
I want him to be able to be, you know, choice keeper in case we need him as well in other games. And I've got that confidence now that he's ready. Yeah, man.
It's a brilliant game. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Yes, don't forget to hit that like, share and subscribe button. That was the Manchester United review for the Arsenal game. The FA Cup retention begins.
Let's hope
Let's keep that golden ball with us.
That's it.
And let's keep going.